What's going on, gang? I know I said I wasn't gonna make another video until this man is fired. Uh I've been fuming hot for the last couple of hours. This organization is a dumpster fire. They, in the last 2 days, have let Raheem Morris say some of the dumbest shit, and nobody's checked him on it. Not Terry Fontenot, not Arthur Blank, not even Rich McKay. We haven't heard anything from the front office. People have been asking, practically begging Arthur Blank to say something. How do you let this team become this bad? You had some people yesterday that finally called out the obvious, which I've been calling out for a while. The team has quit on Raheem Morris. I guess they couldn't disguise it enough yesterday. You know, you got Dukes and Bell talking about yesterday was the first game they officially can say they saw this team quit. Man, this defense has quit multiple times during games because the offense can't do anything. But what I read about what Raheem Morris fucking said, it shows me. Let Terry Fontenot walk. It's clear Terry Fontenot ain't got no power. None. Let him walk. Because I'd be goddamned if I let a coach tell anybody it's irrelevant to make coaching changes at this point. I told y'all this man was going to run this team into the fucking ground and Arthur Blank was going to let him. Now this is arrogance talking. This is absolute arrogance talking. And this came last week or 2 weeks ago, when he said he had the utmost confidence in our special teams coach. Now special teams then went to bed once again. Now that we're mathematically out of it, well, it's irrelevant to fire us now. Yeah, listen, we fucked up. We fucked up this team. We completely fucked it up. But it's irrelevant to fire us now. We're out of the playoffs. Why would you bring an interim in? And Terry Fontenot sitting up there and ain't said fucking nothing. Arthur Blank, who owns the team, hasn't said fucking anything. At this point, I don't ever want Raheem Morris back in this building. I don't want him as a positions coach. That man, once we fire him, he should not be allowed to walk back in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. These guys have been incompetent since they got here. And now you got this motherfucker talking about, it's irrelevant, man. On the same day they cut a player. Why y'all let Fuller go then? I guess it's only irrelevant if they're coaches. Y'all can let these players go. And then you fucking sign a wide receiver when you got wide receivers sitting here not getting any playing. Bruh, this goddamn organization is a dumpster fire. Why the fuck are we signing wide receivers when we got Casey Washington sitting right there? We got Nash sitting right there. Why the didn't we just pick up another wide receiver a few weeks ago? Bruh, at this point, I don't know what the fuck this team doing. I don't know what the fuck this team doing. You shouldn't be picking up nobody. You ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere, bruh. All right, man, I've been flaming hot. I've been flaming hot the last couple of hours because I'm just trying to figure out why this cancer is still in the building. This guy is out here he's basically calling shots. Nothing from Terry Fontenot. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. But when it was relevant, this man held on to his offensive coordinator and his goddamn bum ass special teams coach. When it was relevant that we were falling off a cliff, he kept these guys. Now that we've fallen completely off the cliff, we're here now. So, yeah, we're not going anywhere. Y'all might as well just let us go ahead and finish out the season. Wink, wink. And a goddamn owner sitting there. Mom. Our goddamn GM sitting there almost like he's not allowed to say anything. So at the end of the season, just clean house. Just fucking get everybody out of here, man. Just get the stench of this fucking seat. Bro, the offseason can't happen soon enough. It can't happen soon enough. I don't even want to fucking hear Raheem Morris talk. That comment to me, it just lets me know the team been gave up on you. They been gave up on you, bruh. But yeah, season over. It's irrelevant to fire us at this point because season over. We should have got rid of y'all goddamn asses when I said so. When there was still a chance. But Arthur Blank let this man absolutely fucking tank this team, tank this fan base. And I'm sorry, but this motherfucker is fully aware that this guy is doing this. And then I read somewhere where Raheem had the audacity to talk about he feels like Arthur Blank still got 100% confidence. What? 100% confidence? Bro, you've won 4 games. You've won 2 at home with 4 games left. And you got 2 games on the road. Bro. Only in football, man. Only in football, bro. Only in football can coaches that are absolute cheeks survive a fucking season. But that irrelevant, man, I never want to see Raheem Morris as a coach again in fucking life. This man is a born loser. Got a losing record in Tampa Bay. Guess what? Got a losing record here. I'm just, this will go down as a season. If Atlanta don't bounce back within 2 years, I'm telling you, fans are leaving. Fans are leaving this team. This is how bad these 2 years have been. They've been so bad. Fans are gonna leave this fucking. Fans are questioning why the fuck they're even fans of this team now. It's embarrassing at this point. No fight in the team because you got the wrong head coach. You got the wrong offensive coordinator. Yet you keep marching these motherfuckers out here on game day. You knew Zach Robinson was buns in week 4. Week 4, week 5, well, you knew he was buns then. You knew he was buns last year. But we had to endure this motherfucker for 2 years. Offense has been awful. Single digits multiple times in the last 2 years. The third downs are just, whoo. Man, Arthur Blank got a lot of goddamn. I hope the media asks him the right questions because he's got a lot of fucking explaining to do. How do you keep an offensive coordinator who's got a negative balance on third down? 1 of 13 yesterday. 1 of fucking 13. How do you explain marching this out here every fucking Sunday? This is not patience. This is not patience with the coach. People who call this malpractice. I call this shit malfeasance. This shit should be fucking illegal. The way that this fucking team is run. And now you got a coach out here fucked up the season and then got the audacity to talk about it's irrelevant. Hey, listen, I know our special teams coach Buns. I know he cheats. But it's irrelevant to fire him at this point. So the fuck what Thursday he ends up, special teams ends up coughing it up. Who cares? That's basically what Raheem told you. He don't give a fuck about the next 4 games. He don't care that special teams is going to be absolute trash for the next 4. But Raheem never gave a fuck. But bruh, Arthur Blank got a lot of fucking explaining to do. I'm not for the bullshit. I'm not for the softball answers or the softball questions. They need to hammer his motherfucking ass. Why did you let this go on? There's honestly no right answer. You let this man tank your team, dog. You let this man tank your team. And now he's telling us it's irrelevant to make head coaching coaching decisions. It's irrelevant to fire anybody. Why would we do that? But then you cut Fuller today. So basically what you're telling us is fuck them players. Them players can go, but it's irrelevant. And I don't know, man, Fuller might have told, hey, man, get me the fuck off this team, bro. But we got to look at some of the players that don't see the light of day on the field. Bam, how the fuck did you? You got receivers that want to play. I don't want to hear shit about they don't know nothing about the playbook. Zach Robinson is a terrible offensive coordinator. Trust me, the playbook is the last thing that them receivers got to worry about. Last year it was the same. It was with Rook. You draft Rook and then motherfucker don't play for 10 games. You're drafting guys, they don't see the light of day on the goddamn field. And for what? You put Tompkins? Nigga, Tompkins wasn't on my goddamn bingo card of wide receivers. As far as what Seals goes, man, listen. Great story. He caught 2 touchdowns. This motherfucker won't be on the team next year. Got gingerbread hands. But this man, oh boy, a losing coach. This is what a losing coach says. It's irrelevant. We fucked your season up. Yeah, I fucked it up, nigga. So what? So what? Yeah, season over with now. I ain't firing nobody. So what Raheem Morris has basically done is said, hey, I'm picking my special teams coach. I'm choosing my special teams coach who's absolutely fucking awful over y'all, over the team, over everybody. Should he be fired? Yeah, he should be fired. But I ain't gonna do it. I'll let y'all players go. I'll let Ray walk out the door. When I need receivers, you claim Darnell Mooney banged up, but then you healthy scratch Ray and then cut him. Think about this, family. Think about this let me pull the fuck over. Think about this for a second, family. Darnell Mooney's been struggling with goddamn injuries since camp. Didn't play the first couple of games. Then he comes in, he's getting in football shape. That's what Zach Robinson said. Ray's your third receiver. So if Mooney's not in football shape, one would behoove you to keep your third guy on rotation. Ray had a pretty decent year last year. And he's a speedster. You cut him. And now we're starting games with guys like Seals and Tompkins. Boy, this month can't go by fast enough. This is one of the games, man. I hope Tampa Bay blows the doors off us. I hope Tampa puts up 50 on primetime so we can hurry up and get this guy the fuck up out of here, man. There's no reason to keep him. Like, he's talking irrelevant. It's irrelevant. Listen, bam, y'all shouldn't even be here at this point. Y'all should not. You, Zach Robinson, and Marquise, y'all shouldn't even be here. Season done. I don't give a fuck who's coaching. It's irrelevant. We need to cut this cancer completely out, man. Oh my goodness. Ooh, front office ass. I don't know. Man, family, I'm at a point. I don't know how much power Terry Fontenot got. I don't. But if I'm Terry, I'm wanting out. I'm wanting out. Because if I was a GM with any type of teeth and I heard this, he'd have been fired today. You don't get to make the fucking decisions. You don't get to say it's irrelevant. You don't have the cachet. You are a fucking loser. You've lost the team. That's evident. You've lost the team. You've completely lost the fan base. You should be grateful that you even getting an opportunity to finish the season out. You should be grateful. Instead, it's irrelevant. Hey, fuck you want me to do about it? I ain't firing nobody. That special teams coach ass. He absolute ass. I ain't firing him. So we gonna allow this man to go down with the ship and take all of us with him. That's essentially what he's saying. I'm taking everybody down. And Arthur Blank and Terry Fontenot allowing him to. So when Arthur Blank cleans house, he needs to take accountability. Why did you allow this man to coach the whole entire season? I don't want to hear shit about, well, we usually give coaches bruh, the writing was on the fucking wall. Y'all had him as an interim already. Y'all didn't like him enough to keep him as a coach. That man don't get no extra rope. This ain't a rebuild, bruh. This man came in with some decent players. But he gave you a shit defensive coordinator and he gave you a shit offensive coordinator, which y'all gonna have to get under the blade too because y'all allowed him to do this. I don't want it. Don't scapegoat Raheem. He's ass, But you hired him, though. So this starts at the front office. When this is over with in the offseason, and Arthur Blank gives that closeout postseason, whatever the fuck it is, first question is, why the fuck did you hire Raheem Morris? We gotta know. You bypassed on a lot of guys to hire this motherfucker. You bypassed the guy that's got enough rings to put one on his dick. You let him walk. You let Vrabel walk. Now you gotta answer, because it ain't Raheem's fault he got hired. You gotta answer why the fuck you hired this coach who had a losing record and really nothing going for him over these other coaches who are doing good, by the way. You're going to have to answer that. And you're going to have to answer, why the fuck did you allow him to absolutely burn the ship this year? You had opportunities to fire him. You know, after we lost for a month. 5-game losing streak. You won one since you beat Buffalo. You've won 1 out of 8 fucking games. You could have fired this man any one of those weeks. You did not. You saw the team give up on him. Now we hear motherfuckers like Jesse Bates going off in the locker room. So you done lost the locker room, bruh. Arthur knows this. And he still let this motherfucker do this. So I need fucking answers. Why did you let him do this? And it's a why you let him do this. Because you're the fucking owner. You could have fired him at any time. I don't want to hear no bullshit about your hands was tied. You're the fucking owner. And this is why Rich McKay's in the way. Certain people you wanted in this building, you let motherfuckers talk you out of it. And you're the owner. So because of this, Falcons fans have had to deal with this absolute bullshit, just dumpster fire of a regime. Dumpster fire. And it ain't going to get no better next year. Next year going to be tough. You got 5 picks. You don't have a first-round pick. You did absolutely nothing in the trade deadline. And you kept a goddamn coach who was a dead man walking. This is why I said a couple of weeks ago, we might as well fire him now. What's the sense of keeping him when y'all gonna fire him at the end of the season? It made no sense to me, bro. But now we at a point, you're gonna have to build this team's confidence back up. Because they're not gonna have any with Raheem Morris coaching the last 4 games. You think there's no confidence booster there? None. None. So now you're going to have to retrain this team's confidence. Bijan, been here how many seasons? Ain't even sniffed the playoffs. Drake London ain't even sniffed the playoffs. Kyle Pitts was here when Matt Ryan was still the quarterback. Ain't sniffed the playoffs. So was Tyler Algier. Ain't sniffed the playoffs. You brought Jesse Bates in here. Ain't sniffed the playoffs. This is what happens when you give a loser a chance. Now, for me, and this is why I want Tampa Bay to wash us. I'm just at a point, you put us out of our goddamn misery. I want Tampa Bay to wash us so they don't have a choice. You lost by 30 plus at home to Seattle when it was 6-6 halftime. If Tampa comes up and puts a 50 burger on us, I know we ain't scoring 20 points. Not at this point. We got wide receivers that can't really operate. They can't catch contested balls. And you refuse to put in the goddamn wide receivers you're drafted. Casey Washington had a pretty decent game before he got hurt this season. When you put him in. It's a dumpster fire, fam. Johnny says the NFL and powers that be put the Falcons on prime time with the schedule and another disappointing season. We got a Monday night game. That's going to get flexed out. I think the Monday night game is supposed to be against the Rams. That's probably going to get flexed out. This team is horrible, man. And it starts at the top. Our owner is weak. Let's just be honest. He's weak. He's let Rich McKay be in his ear for 20 plus years. He trusts Rich McKay's decision making, but it's like, what the fuck has Rich McKay really done? That run that we had with Mike Smith, we had Dimitroff there too. Dimitroff was just coming from the Patriots. This guy had the audacity to say it was irrelevant. Like he running things. And if they gave Raheem Morris that much power, that makes it even worse. Because he shouldn't have the power to say that. You're GM. You're GM. And again, we might find out later on in life, man, exactly how much power Terry Fontenot had. I doubt. Terry Fontenot is just the GM by title. He picks the players, and that's pretty much it. I don't think he has the power to fire anybody. Because think about it. He's been here now 5 years. He didn't fire Arthur Smith. Didn't even fucking hire him. That firing came from up top. And then it was so bad it was so bad 2 years ago. Y'all remember that end of the season press conference they had when they marched Rich McKay's ass out there and Terry Fontenot was nowhere to be found. It was so bad they had to announce the next day that Rich McKay's hands were off. Because why the fuck is Rich McKay sitting there when Terry Fontenot should have been sitting there? Terry Fontenot's the goddamn GM. Put the team together. Why is Rich McKay talking? It was that bad. It was that bad that the very next day, Rich McKay, he's hands off on Falcons on anything football related. Wink, wink. So we talked about that when that happened. Terry ain't got no teeth. And Terry's probably wanted to fire Raheem Morris for a while. We was hearing shit like the coach reports to the owner and shit. What the fuck, man? Organization just fucking bruh. And they're afraid to hire a head coach with cachet because they know with cachet comes power. If you want me to coach this team, this is how it's going to be. They don't like coaches like that. Atlanta's never had a coach like that under this regime. They've never had one. Under Arthur Blank's regime, they've never had a coach like that. Let that sink in. They've interviewed plenty of them over the years. Plenty of them walked right past them. And now I'm getting to a point where it's like Arthur Blank really doesn't like having people installed that tell him no. Or tell Rich McKay no. They like guys that go along to get along that they can throw under the bus when this is all said and done with. When things go south, they can throw them under the bus. They did that with Arthur Smith. Now, was Arthur Smith buns? Yeah. But he, compared to what Raheem Morris has done, and you look at the fact that Art was failing, but he didn't have a complete roster, and he still gave you 7. We could potentially and very easily lose these last 4 games. So, again, it's going to be an interesting ass offseason, but I need this media to get on Arthur Blank's ass because this blame falls on him. They hired this man. They hired him. We got to understand why the fuck they walked past these other coaches and hired him. That's the root of the problem right there. Somebody needs to ask him, why do you keep hiring first-time head coaches? What was it about Raheem Morris, which is a retread? He didn't have any cachet. He had a losing record as a coach. He was your interim head coach. You loved him so much, you let him walk out the door, and you hired Arthur Smith. Any coach with any type of pedigree would have got more from this team this season. I can guarantee you that. I can guarantee you that. Any other coach with cachet, we'd probably be talking playoffs. Because any head coach that has common fucking sense, they're not hiring a first-time OC and a first-time DC. They're not doing that. Arthur Smith didn't even do that. Arthur Smith went and got somebody off the couch that had been in football for decades. Now, I didn't like Dean Pease as a defensive coordinator, but I mean, God damn it, that man had been around for a while, bruh. So Lisa says Blank said publicly that the expectation for the season was playoffs. Again, his expectation and his actions are completely different. If his expectation was playoffs, Raheem would have been gone after that back-to-back loss. Carolina, he's in the hot seat in the Carolina game. San Fran, I'm probably pulling the trigger at that point. Because it's clear that they don't make adjustments in the second half. They get dog walked in the second half. Your offensive court, fam, this man, I went back and watched this shit again last night. This man threw back-to-back screen passes. After not calling these motherfuckers at all, barely, through the season, This man called back-to-back screen passes, bro. I mean, Zach Robinson is already it's almost like kicking a dead horse at this point. It really is. He's not a good offensive coordinator at all. Period. I don't think it's his first time and with experience. No, I think he's a trash offensive coordinator. This man just learned how to call screens and then just started spamming them. And I'm like, and then remember earlier in the season, he was calling the tight end screen to Kyle Pitts. That never fucking worked. That never worked. It never worked. It never worked. And he was calling this shit on like 3rd and 9. A tight end screen to Kyle Pitts. It's like, bro, did you expect Kyle Pitts to catch this motherfucker and then dodge guys and then run for 9 yards? That's not his style. You got to hit Kyle Pitts in stride. Bro, that playbook, it's a Tecmo Bowl playbook, bro. Then you add to the fact that you had Michael Penix playing damn near 80% in the pistol. You put Kirk Cousins in, and immediately we're under center. And I'm like, why didn't you just do that with Michael Penix? Bruh, goodness. The only thing that's irrelevant right now is this team. And it's because of this coach. Now, I've seen people put on the cape and campaign for Raheem Morris, which to me is fucking crazy. Well, man, these players aren't out there playing like they should. That's coaching, my guy. Same reason your special teams coach has been buns, and the coach ain't done nothing about that, and is not going to do anything about that. Explain that one to me. How is it still the players? Your special teams coach is honey buns. And Raheem Morris looked at that guy and said he's got the utmost confidence in him. And then when they gave up the ghost this game, there was a blocked goddamn field goal. And then there was a return of 100 fucking yards where that goddamn guy only got touched once. How do you not just go over there and whisper in his ear, you gone? See, this is what losers do. This is what losers do. Somebody that got some cachet, they gonna tell you one time, you better get this special teams in fucking order fast. Or you up out of here, bro. I better not see any bad plays from special teams. And then KhaDarel Hodge, who was doing good on special, I'm telling you, this coaching staff is trash. But you got rid of Ike Hilliard, though. Mind you, remember when they got rid of Ike Hilliard, Darnell Mooney was still hurt, and Drake London was dealing with the shoulder issue when they got rid of Ike Hilliard. So Ike Hilliard probably was the only coach that had an excuse to why the wide receivers aren't doing what they should be doing. You got one guy in Darnell Mooney who has injuries. Then you tell us later on, after Darnell Mooney drops 2 passes in the game, he's dealing with a shoulder injury too. He's been dealing with that since preseason. Whoops, we forgot to tell y'all. And Drake London was dealing with a shoulder issue at the time. And y'all fired him after the Carolina game. Y'all fired him. Special teams was buns before that. How do you fire a wide receivers coach when he had a legitimate excuse at the time? Your special teams coach ain't never had a legitimate excuse. They've been buns. But it's irrelevant at this point to let him go. But y'all let Ike Hilliard go without thought. And then you let Ray Ray go because Ray Ray was probably the only player telling y'all fucking suck. We'll healthy scratch Ray Ray, even though we need him. Even though we legitimately need him for this game, we're going to healthy scratch him because we don't like what he said. We don't like what he said about us. Oh, then we're going to cut him. Even though we're in desperate need of a receiver. Hey, listen, we'll just put Tompkins in there. We'll put Seals in there. No big deal. Now these guys don't even want to play for you no more. I knew once the special teams gave up the 100-yard touchdown and Bijan fumbled the ball, that defense clocked out. I can tell when they came back out on the field, they clocked out. But none of this is our fault. Like, we went into halftime. It was 6-6. We've held a team that had 9 wins to 6 we did everything we possibly could to help y'all guys get the ball so y'all can put points on the board. You know what they did? Fucking nothing. So when they saw Bijan cough that motherfucker up, hey man, Cancun on 3. They don't want to do nothing on offense. Kirk Cousins, washed. Atlanta needs to, and this is an easy fix, get a goddamn coach in here with some cachet and let him do his thing. It's that fuck. Get out the way. Get the fuck out the way. Sooner or later, you're going to have to realize you can't keep making the same decision and expecting a different result. That's under Arthur Blank's regime. That's all it's been. And they probably eyeballing a first-time head coach right now. Try getting a goddamn coach that's done something. Try that for one. Just try it for 2 years. You tried Raheem Morris for 2 years. And he was cheeks. He came in a loser. Try getting an actual head fucking coach for once. Try doing that. Try doing that for 2 years. You experimented with Raheem Morris. Experiment with the fucking head coach that's got some cachet. And then get the fuck out of the way. It starts in the front office, bro. Jeffrey says Blank's going to let McKay hire Mike Smith back again. Man, I'm not sure Mike Smith even want to coach like that. There's guys right now that aren't even coaching right now that you can go interview. I don't want to hear shit about they've been out of the game. Fam, the fucking Colts tried out Phillip Rivers today. Phillip Rivers is 44 years old, been out the game at least 3 years. I don't want to hear shit about going to interview one of these coaches. These coaches ain't putting on a uniform and going out there and blocking. Your list needs to consider at the top coaches that have won rings. Period. That's where you start. Interview these first timers and get them the fuck out the way. I'm done with first timers for right now, fam. This next regime needs to have a goddamn coach that has done something. And I'm like, ain't y'all tired of having first time head coaches? We going on goddamn 20 years. Actually, we going on 20. We damn near there. And then you got to figure out that, man, it's just a dumpster fire. You have to figure out the goddamn quarterback situation. Oh, God, this team is irrelevant right now. Raheem is below irrelevant. He's almost a non-factor after this season. I would be shocked. He might be a line coach next year. I wouldn't trust this motherfucker with my defense. I wouldn't trust him with my offense. I wouldn't even trust this motherfucker with special teams at this point. Because if I see other teams are going to be smart, why the fuck should we hire you? You took the Falcons. Team had some pieces. Y'all won 4 games. Now, I don't think Raheem's going to struggle to get a job in the NFL because they like to retread. But he ain't going to be no coordinator. He ain't going to be no coordinator. This man said yesterday that the Seahawks feasted on us. You know how embarrassing that sounds coming out of a coach's mouth? And they just feasted on us. It means you suck as a head coach. Where were the adjustments? When your goddamn offensive coordinator was out here calling 2 screenplays in a row, why did you just scream to the sideline, motherfucker, stop? Why did you go over there and just say, Zach, what the fuck are you doing, man? Zach is over there operating as a rogue agent at this point. Do you understand me? A rogue agent. We got an offensive coordinator that has went completely rogue. Head coach over there ain't doing shit. I couldn't be a coach. I couldn't. I see 2 screens and one goes for a goddamn pop-up pick. Bruh, I'm in your ass. I'm in your ass on the sideline. I'm not waiting until we get that. I'm not waiting. I'm not waiting. I'm over there in your ass. One more again. Let me see a goddamn screen. One more again. But Raheem don't do none of that. Raheem is there to watch the team burn. That's it. I watched the coach in Detroit take the play call sheet mid-game. Got to get a Tiger in here, man. Got to get a goddamn Tiger in here. I'm not satisfied with no first-time head coach, motherfucker. If they hire a first-time head coach, this motherfucker on thin ice from jump. From jump. Johnny says Matt Ryan told the entire team about this fan base and how we roll when the team is winning. I mean, Matt experienced that in 2016. Fan base here, and this fan base is starving, man. This fan base is starving, bruh. That's how I know if the Falcons ever win the Super Bowl, bruh, that parade gonna be, it ain't gonna be like other cities. I'm telling you. I'm fucking telling you. We gonna tear up downtown. This fan base is starving. Just like UGA under Mark Richt, team was starving. Now look at it. That's what happens when you get a winning culture in that motherfucker, man. Georgia expects to win. Ain't no 50. They expect to win. And the fan base expects them to fucking win too. Man, ain't a single seat available in Athens on Saturdays. Not one. The only person guaranteed a seat every single solitary Saturday is the goddamn dog. That's it. But them seats be sold the fuck out, bruh. And them ain't no cheap seats either. Them motherfuckers is not cheap. Southern Gents, hell, even Georgia Tech. Yeah, Georgia Tech done passed the Falcons. They go into 2 years. They done went toe-to-toe with Georgia. 2 years. But again, the difference is the shift. You gotta bring a coach in here, man, with some cachet. You can't bring a first time. They don't have shit on their resume. Motherfucker, you a first timer. I've been here 3 years. It's your first time being a coach. I've been on this team for 3 years. Somebody like Bijan can say that. You bring in a motherfucker with some cachet and a ring, different story. I don't give a fuck how old that ring is. You bring in a John Gruden. Can't nobody tell Gruden shit on this team. We ain't done nothing. If Pittsburgh lets go of Mike Tomlin, you can't say shit to Mike Tomlin. I ain't never had a losing season, motherfuckers. Y'all got 8 straight. Watch your tone when you talk to me. That's cachet right there. And I got one of these chips, bitch. That's cachet. That's something players can get behind and respect. Not no first time guy, first time offensive coordinator who caught fire. And now he's going through the coaching carousel or head coaching job. Fuck can you tell me? Y'all didn't win the chip. Yeah, 1 good year as an offensive coordinator, or 1 good year as a defensive coordinator. That's the difference, dog. That's the difference. That's why I keep saying we need to hire an actual head coach. I don't give a fuck if he's on the couch right now. I'm not going for one of these hot shots. I'm flamed out on that shit, man. That's how we've had a steady diet of first timers. Steady diet. And it hasn't worked for 8 years. Dan Quinn had that magical year in 2016. 2017, we make the playoffs. 1 player away from advancing to the championship game. We played our asses off. But that offense was totally different than 2016. Then the streak started. First timer. But Arthur Blank doesn't escape any of this. Matter of fact, he's the main culprit. We had to endure Raheem Morris because they hired him. So the fan base had to endure that shit. So the fan base rightfully has a right to be angry. You're only as good as your leadership. Show me a team that balled out with a trash head coach. Like the coach was absolutely cheeks, but the team still managed to get it done. Name me one. Bad coaches produce bad teams. You can't show me a all-star great team, Coach Buns. But I can show you a ton of terrible teams where the coach is Buns. Now, we have a situation over in the AFC. I think Kansas City's been eliminated for the first time in a while. Fam, I guarantee you next year they coming back smoking hot. But they got a couple situations. Travis Kelce done playing football, bro. His head ain't even in it no more. Now people ask me, well, Mark, what coach would you get? A goddamn coach with some cachet. Choose one. At this point, they're way better than what we got now. Any of those guys. I guarantee you, if you hire one of them, he ain't coming with no first-time OC and no first-time DC. This team on paper should have more than 4 games won. And shout out to Drake London for not playing. Keep the shit up. Hey, it's spring. You done for the season. When they ask you, do you think you can play this week? Fuck nah, man. It's still sore, man. I want you healthier than a hog this next season. I said this a couple weeks ago. Shut Bijan down. Save him for the next coach. This coach don't even deserve to have starters playing. Raheem don't deserve to have the starters playing for him. Let's bring Casey Washington up, see what's up. Since it's irrelevant at this point, none of these games matter. It's irrelevant to fire the coaches. It should be irrelevant to play the fucking starters. I don't want none of these motherfuckers playing if they're starters. These games don't matter. This is the preseason. I don't give a fuck about no fantasy rosters. Y'all better go find somebody else in free agency. None of my motherfuckers, none of them playing. Because you're gonna fuck around and have Bijan sprang or break something in a game that don't goddamn matter. Because they laying wood on him now. Play calling is predictable. They know when he's getting the ball. They are laying wood on Bijan now. Save them hits for games that matter next year. Southern Jen says, I'll play Kyle Trask. Yeah, bro, if we evaluating talent at this point, starters on the bench. And I'm talking about Thursday. I ain't waiting until the following Sunday. I'm talking about this Thursday. Players getting shut down. And this is how I can tell y'all Arthur Blank is weak as an owner. You know you're going to fire him at the end of this year. Why the fuck are you still playing your starters? None of these games matter. The team done quit. They done quit on the coach. Evaluate talent. You got 4 games to evaluate. See what Casey Washington's got. Who's our third running back? I forgot this motherfucker's name is. I'm packing up Algier too. Algier ain't getting no touches. All my starters are wrapped up. Season done. That's just like with Kansas City. I'm pretty sure now that they're out the playoffs, they probably gonna ease up off of guys like Xavier Worthy. Probably they're probably not gonna pack Patrick Mahomes up yet. But trust me, I don't think Patrick gonna play the last 2 games. You don't want to get out there and have a guy suffer an ACL tear, especially at the end of the season, because you ain't going to see him until damn near towards the end of next season or the midway point. But I'm not playing none of these guys. But Arthur Blank, again, he don't care. When I tell you he is going to let Raheem Morris take this way deep down in the ocean, that's exactly what he gonna do. And special teams gonna give up something Thursday too. You got a guy back there in Agnew, straight ass, damn near terrified to catch the ball, but straight ass when he catches the ball. This man is Eric Weems 2.0. Nothing to see here. And I remember hearing one of the guys, yeah, Agnew is one of the best returners. What? Bro, stop. Cut it out. But at the end of the season, Black Monday, everybody need to be gone. Atlanta has to have a full rotation. They got to fire everybody. And I like Terry. I do. But, man, I don't think you have any teeth. I don't think you can call shots at like a GM should. I just don't think you can. So now I'm at the point to where if you ain't got no teeth, my guy, I like you. You got to get up out of here too. You've been here 5 years. No winning seasons. No playoffs. Black Monday need the whole entire staff gone. And Atlanta don't have to make a decision before the season's over with. They don't. We notorious for that shit too. You don't need to make a decision at all after Black Monday. Go into the fucking offseason, start interviewing coaches that have chips. Start there. Y'all have to give up the reins. Because this ain't got you to a Super Bowl one time. NFC Championship twice. 14-2 record, I think, and a 12-2 record, 11-5 in 2016. And you fell off a cliff since. Can't even get to goddamn 10 wins. Can't get to 9 wins. Fuck, you're struggling. Shit. Fuck the bullshit. Can't even get to 8. You can't keep making this same mistake over and over and over again. It's not working. Once you hire a coach that's got cachet and got a chip, now you got to completely change the culture here, which is what that coach will do. Then you got to figure out who your goddamn quarterback is going into the new season. But I'm at a point now, man, where shit, I'm looking more and more towards Gruden, man. And it's just, this team needs a personality change. More than it needs a personality change. Look at what's going on there in Denver, man. Denver was shakes. They got Russell Wilson. Okay, they start making some moves. But since Sean Payton been there, bruh, they moved Kansas City the fuck out the way with Bo Nix. Bo Nix. The difference is they know what Sean Payton is. Sean Payton don't take no shit. Sean Payton expects fucking perfection from his teams. Raheem don't. If Sean Payton had a special teams coach like we got, this motherfucker would have been fired. He'd have been fired. I can tell you that. Oh, right off top. He would have been fired. You don't let a guy that bad stay on your team. And he's a coach, like a special teams coach. Motherfucker, you can find one of them. Special teams cheeks everywhere. We didn't had three kickers. Go out here. This motherfucker trying to dig graves kicking now. And we knew Koo fell off the bone last year. Now he ain't even kicking the ball. This man is, I don't think I've ever seen that before. I've never seen a guy miss the ball entirely. I've never seen that. Hold on for a second, fam. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. I had to take care of something. But yeah, man, I've never seen that. I've never seen that. That's how far Younghoe Koo has fallen. Mentally, he's in the dumps. But we haven't. Special teams been absolute ass all year, and this guy was able to survive the whole entire year. Your GM didn't get rid of him. Your head coach didn't get rid of him. Your front office didn't get rid of him. They let this man, who's absolute trash, stay with the team the entire year. And then he got, not only that, he was getting backing. I have the utmost confidence in Marquise, and I think that he'll be able to turn it around. And we just got a few things that we need to execute, and then threw him under the bus. Man, threw him under the bus yesterday, and then turned around and said it's irrelevant to make any coaching decisions at this point. Man, fuck y'all. Fuck y'all. What the fans gonna do? I'm calling shit. In here. It's irrelevant, God. That's what I said, God damn it. It's irrelevant. What y'all gonna do? That's a shot at Arthur Blank and the goddamn ownership. Unless the ownership back in his play. And that's even worse, fam. That's even worse. That's even worse. So we're at a point, man. Listen, this month can't get here soon enough. But I had to make a video about this, man. Because one, I felt like I was about to goddamn explode when I heard that. But also, man, I was talking to a friend of mine last night, and he was like, "Man, I know you ain't tapping out and not making videos anymore." Uh, hold on for a second. Uh, okay, man, give me my goddamn card back. I'm getting money out of my account. Well, I was, but he was like, "Man, dude, you on that LeBron James streak, man?" I said, "Man, that streak got broken years ago." At that point, I was about 7, 8 years deep of making videos every fucking Sunday. I missed in 10 years, 10 or 11 years. I missed one Sunday, one. That shows you how dedicated I am to this team. I missed one fucking Sunday of going live right after the game. And he was like, "Man, you can't, man, dude, you got to keep going. You got to keep going." I'm like, "Dude, I can't watch this team no more. This team pure ass." Yeah, man, but it's only four more games, man. I'm like, "Dude, you're asking me to deal with torture. That's essentially what you're asking me to do. You asking me to deal with torture for 4 more weeks. I just don't know if I got it in me." He was like, "Man, just listen to the game." I'm like, "Bro, listen. If I can watch the game, I ain't listening to the game." that, that don't make no sense to me. If I can watch this game, I'm not listening to it. I'm still undecided, fam. I said I wasn't, but I do have a streak going on right now. Um, and I don't know if I care about this streak or not, but we'll see. Thursday, y'all might see me. Thursday, y'all might not. Um, okay. Hold on for a second, fam. Uh, Boy, Navy Federal don't be playing about that pin number, man. You put that pin number in, it just moves on to the next stage. Uh, all right. So yeah, man. So let me ask y'all, when the season's over, who would you think would be best as the next head coach of the Atlanta Falcons? Or better yet, who do you think would even want this job at this point? As I get crisp crisp money out here, man, give me my card back. All right, let's bounce. Clove says me. Man, honestly, I think there are some fans that could have did a better job coaching this team than Raheem Morris. I really do, and that's not hyperbolic. I don't know what he does. I mean, he doesn't call offense. He doesn't call defense. Apparently, he doesn't hold his coaches accountable for anything. Um, he used to be able to talk slick. The jokes used to land after the press conference. How you doing, D-Led? You know, how, uh, see the new glasses you got there, man? Or where you get the glasses from? Oh, yeah, right. Okay. Okay. All right. You're looking sharp. He used to be able to do that shit and get away with it. Don't nobody want to hear that shit no more. Man, when you looking for houses, that's what people want to hear from. They want to hear that now. And you, dude, I sat there and watched this guy. Um, it wasn't the press conference. It was like right immediately after the game. Man, this dude know he gone, man. He know he gone. He know he gone. But he talked his way into the job. No cachet. No tangibles. No tangibles. Losing record. But that's just what Atlanta likes. He fits the bill of somebody they can control. Chris says, would you consider Kirby if he was, man, Kirby ain't on the table, bro. Kirby ain't on the table. Kirby's running things in Georgia. Man, listen, they fuck around and win them another championship, another natty. Man, they putting a statue of Kirby up, man. Kirby ain't thinking about the pros. Man, all Kirby thinking about is Georgia Bulldogs Saturdays and F-150 commercials. That's it. Kirby ain't coming to the bigs. But Kirby like, man, listen, I'm about to get me a third natty in this bitch. That's 3 out of 4 years. Come holla at me. Kirby ain't thinking about the Falcons. But Kirby like, man, they love me in Athens. They love me in Athens. I'm on the cusp. I'm on the cusp of being legendary in this bitch. We talking free meals for life, no matter where I go. Man, I stop in to get a bite to eat, coach. You know your money ain't no good here. That's on the house. I appreciate it. He's at that level. Kirby gonna get this third natty. They gonna put a statue of your boy up. And he might not be done. Man, Kirby got that team rolling. And Kirby ain't think, man. Kirby ain't think about he ain't think about the Falcons. But it's gonna take the next coach. He's got to be a leader, man. He's got to be a leader, and he has to have the mentality of winning. That comes with, I just don't think you can get that from a first timer no more, man. I don't. And Atlanta picks the wrong first timers anyway. They picked the wrong ones. Solution says fans clearly need to stop supporting. Hey man, it's gonna get to a point. You know the bad thing about it, Atlanta teams traumatize you. Whether it be the Braves, you know, I remember when the Braves won the World Series, people were on pins and needles. It was the 9th inning. Atlanta was, I think it was 9-0, and fans were still on pins and needles because we've been so traumatized as fans of Atlanta teams, right? So the team that actually rectified that was the Bulldogs. Now Atlanta United came in and won way too fast. So that was like the first chip, but I mean, you really got to be into soccer to give a fuck about that. When Atlanta United won, I'm like, well, shit, finally we won something. But man, that didn't really change my day. Now, when Georgia won, I was a casual, and I'm still to a certain point a casual college fan, and it's because I can't have emotions both in college and professional football. I can't. I have to choose one, and unfortunately, I chose the professional side. I chose the NFL, right? But I'd be talking cash shit. I'd be talking cash shit when it comes to Georgia. But again, when and it was some absolute bullshit. They didn't make playoffs last year. That was how you go undefeated all year. You lose to Bama the last game of the season. You back-to-back champs and you get bounced. Yet for whatever reason, Alabama is in the playoff this year. Man, bro. Anyway, I don't know how. Whatever. But being a fan of both teams, Saturdays there's an extreme high because you know you're going into Saturday. Man, we gonna dog walk this team. This team shouldn't even be on the same field as us if you're a Bulldogs fan. So you get to pop your collar on Saturdays. On Sundays, though, woo! The highs and lows. Man, it's Saturday. You're climbing to the tallest building in the world with the Bulldogs, only to jump off it when it's time for the Falcons to play. That's essentially how it is. So now you got motherfuckers talking about go Dogs. That's all we holding on to now, because we done in the NFL today this year. So now it's go Dogs. But the difference is Kirby came from a program that didn't know nothing but winning. And he instilled that here. Now, Georgia, under Mark Richt, they won games. They just could never get over the hump. Kirby's been able to get them boys over the hump. Back to back natties. And heading for a third one. Georgia about to be an institution, boy. And what did that bring? Man, motherfuckers, 5-star recruits. Man, I'm picking Georgia. He's able to get these players over here. Because players want to be in a winning culture. That's why, to me, keeping Raheem Morris makes no sense, because it's further damaging the confidence of the players we got now. At least if you put an interim coach in there, it's like, okay, he's gone. Let's see what we can do. They know they walk in Thursday, fam. That our team don't expect to win Thursday. They don't. You're gonna see this team quit in the second half again. But when you got a team visibly quitting, and now everybody sees it, it's time to let the coach go right then and there, bro. It is time. And you got a coach sitting there comfortable talking about it's irrelevant, man. It's irrelevant at this point. Yeah, we're the cause. We're not going to the playoffs. We're the major cause, because we're in over our heads. We should have never been in these positions. But I mean, man, we're here now. So deal with it. GM sitting up there ain't said shit. Owner ain't said shit. That's the problem. Here's the crazy thing. Going back to college. Kirby can win a natty this year and then not make the playoffs next year. You think Kirby's job would be in jeopardy? Real talk. If Kirby wins a natty this year and we don't make the playoff, not only do we not make the playoffs, we lose 3 or 4 games next year. Y'all think they firing Kirby? Of course not. They'll just chalk that up to, man, it was a bad year. We're gonna get right next year, though. You can't do that with Raheem. That's why the whole argument about keeping Raheem for another year don't even make no fucking sense. If we just do this, or if I got to do all this, why am I keeping this coach? While I'm doing all this, I can just replace the coach too. You do that for players. I got a young quarterback. Let me get these pieces for him. You don't do that for a fucking head coach who had pieces and still lost. Oh. You replace the coach and insert a coach who can win with those same pieces. Case in point, look at what's going on in Cleveland. Oh, they about to let that coach go, bro. That coach should have got fired yesterday. You want to talk about malpractice? You got Shedeur, who dropped the 5 just simply because they wanted to humiliate this kid. This kid comes in. I think this is Shedeur's second start. This man put up 300 plus yards. He's the only rookie this year that put up over 300 yards. It's his second start. And then when the game is on the line, The coach takes Shedeur out and runs a Wildcat. Then when they asked him why he did it, the man really didn't have a legitimate answer. And then when they talked to Shedeur, man, Shedeur, listen, Shedeur, he's going to be great for Cleveland. They got their franchise quarterback. The way they went about getting him is absolutely fucking, they don't deserve him, to be honest. But they got him. That coach going to be gone he's going to be gone at the end of the year. He should have got fired yesterday, though. Because you got Cleveland fans that just, I mean, mouths open. Mouths open, bruh. A Wildcat? This guy threw for over 300 yards. And you ran a Wildcat? But see, these are guys that shouldn't be coaches to begin with. And Cleveland is about as bad as an organization as it comes. They're worse than us. But at least they got their franchise quarterback, though. We don't even know if Michael Penix is our franchise quarterback. So, can we fix this in an offseason? All the fuckery we got going on right now. Can you completely fix it in an offseason? My immediate answer is no. I think you can fix a lot of this in an offseason and potentially make a run at the playoffs next year. You got to get the right coach. For people that want to blame this on the players have given up on the coach. So if your players gave up on the coach, it's your coach. You have to install a coach who, one, has an identity for this team, two, has leadership skills, and three, has done something. That's why, to me, I keep leaning towards Jon Gruden. I don't know why, but it's like his mentality is similar to Sean Payton's. He comes in and instantly, ain't no bullshit happening. And he's got the guy's got the football savvy. We don't know, fam, I'm going to be honest. At this point, I don't even think Raheem Morris really has the football savvy. When these plays are getting called, Raheem don't be saying shit. I couldn't imagine these plays getting called and Jon Gruden not knowing what the fuck going on. I don't see that. But the situation with that is Arthur Blank is in that circle of owners. Does he want to cross the picket line and hire Jon Gruden? Because there's politics in football too. That would be the first guy I would think because of personality. You got to get a mentality in this team. You have to. The last couple of coaches we've gotten, Dan Quinn, we want to be fast, we want to be physical. Arthur Smith basically said the same shit, and Raheem Morris just, we got to execute. We gotta find a way. Like, fuck that. Like, we need a coach in here who's going, hey, listen, this is what we're gonna be, period. If you ain't on board with it, get the fuck out. We need one of them coaches. We need one of them. So if it's not Jon Gruden, to me, I want a guy with a chip. I want a guy that's been there. I want a guy that's been there and saw it through. I know a lot of people are looking at Klint Kubiak. No. Give me his daddy. I'm so hell bent on them picking the right coach this year, man. Because if not, we gonna endure this next year, fam. We might win an extra game, but we gonna endure this next year too. You can't expect a lot from a first time head coach. He getting his beak wet. But a guy that's been there, okay, listen, we got to get this straight. We got special teams. It's a good thing y'all fired him because I was going to fire him. So it's a good thing. He's walking into a complete clean slate. What's our identity? Can we trust the coach? Can the team trust the coach? That's the first thing you need to hammer down. And that's over the GM. You need to hammer down the coach. And then we can work from there. But right now, y'all letting Raheem Morris just absolutely embarrass us, man. Atlanta Falcons fan, he said, bottom line is Blank needs to allow Fontenot to choose his own head coach. Terry is selecting players to be this culture. He needs to select a coach to see it through. Unfortunately, I don't think he's going to get the opportunity to. I think Fontenot getting fired with the rest of them. Now, is it fair to him? To me, no. But there have been a lot of things that have went on underneath his regime. You know, I remember when Raheem got hired, they were buddy. You know, but I just think, man, this for the fan base and just for the organization, they just got to empty the cupboard. And he's going to be a casualty of that. And then you bring in a coach. Now, do you hire your GM first? This is what I'm looking at. You got to get the right coach in here, period. I don't give a fuck which one comes first. You better get the right coach in here. Because people that say that it's about players have to make plays, they learning that when players don't want to play for a coach, you got to get the coach up out of here. And it's clear they no longer want to play for this coach. That's clear. If you watched any game this year and did not think this team quit on this coach, they quit on him yesterday. He knows it, and everybody knows it. They didn't even try to hide that shit. When the team quits playing for a coach, it's a wrap. It's a wrap, bro. He'll never be able to get that team back. Never. Because the message is lost. And once the message is lost, you cannot get that back. You just simply can't. So you need a new voice in there. And the next voice that needs to come in there is a voice that these players can fucking get behind. It worked with Dan Quinn till it didn't. But Dan Quinn didn't want to be a coach. He wanted to be their friends. That's why Julio loved him so much. But we were 0-5. So apparently the results weren't bearing the fruit that they needed to. You gotta have a good coach, man. I can't emphasize that enough. We'll see what Atlanta does, bro. At this point, we'll see. We'll see. I'm at that point. I just don't expect. I don't expect them to hire a coach. Solution Sports says a good coach finds ways to finish games. puts his players in the best possible position to be successful. Jim Harbaugh did that tonight with Broken Herbert. Zach and Morris never show that promise. Yeah, but look at Harbaugh. Been there. He's been there. Now he lost to his brother, but he got that team there. And players will get behind him. And remember, I think we interviewed Harbaugh too. All these winners, and Atlanta picked the loser. That is baffling to me when I think about it. Atlanta interviewed all these winners and chose the loser. Belichick, winner. Vrabel, winner. Harbaugh, winner. Morris, loser. That's our guy. Bro, they under a microscope. Man, this offseason, they under a fucking microscope. All those winners that came through here, they managed to pick the loser. Nobody, fam, if you say this, you are fucking lying to me. That year, when we were looking for a new coach, nobody had Raheem Morris on their bingo card. Nobody. That shit hit me like a ton of bricks. I forgot where the fuck I was. I might have been at the movies when this broke. And I remember looking at my phone because Belichick was still on the table. And almost in an instant, I was leaning more towards Bill Belichick because he got chips. I'm leaning more towards him. And then Raheem, what? I definitely was at the movies because I remember being in the back and I looked at it, and that's exactly how I responded. I'm like, what? Raheem Morris? And I'm gonna have to go check what movie it was I fucking watched. But I got the news once the movie started. So I had to sit on this shit for 2.5 hours. Bro, I couldn't get to the car fast enough. I got to the car and flew to the house. First thing I did, I had to take a piss. I took a piss and I immediately jumped on live. Nobody saw that coming. Nobody. And I'm like, we got huh? The live is still up. I was just perplexed. I could not understand. I'm like, huh? And I got behind it because it's like, okay. Boy, has my mind frame changed since then, boy. Because I was like, okay, let's give it a chance. And then I saw the press conference with him and Terry Fontenot. I was like, okay, we might be. Oh man, my mind frame has changed completely. But Belichick was still in play. Actually, a couple of guys were still in play. Vrabel, a lot of us kind of assumed he might lean towards New England because that would have been their first pick if they hadn't hired I forget what his name was, but he was kind of like the coach in waiting. So they had to give him a shot. That didn't go over so well. Then they got Vrabel. Now they're going to the playoffs. But I won't be in the movies this time. I promise you that. If I'm in a movie theater and we get a coach, I'm fucking walking straight out of that movie theater. This better be a home run. Now, if it's a first time head coach, man, fuck that. I'm staying in there. I'm watching the movie. Nothing to see there. But Atlanta will find a way to pick the worst first timer. They walked past all those winners and chose the loser. So we really can't be shocked we're in this position. Raheem Morris is a drunk driving head coach. You can't expect to get home with him behind the wheel safe. But good part about this, 4 weeks, he'll be gone. Worst part about it for him, he'll never be a head coach again in life. And maybe that's for the best. Because he's not head coaching material. Never has been and never will be. But with that being said and done, fam, I'm about to hop up off here. I've been chopping up game with you guys almost 2 hours. If you see me Thursday, congrats. If not, y'all know what time it is. I never root for my team to lose, man. I never do. It's so bad, though. It is so bad. I want this guy gone so bad. I'm hoping Tampa dog walks us. That might just be what needs to happen for them to just tell him, man, listen, just take the next 3 weeks off. Take the next 3 weeks off. Go home. Don't come back. It might be just what we need. But I'm going to get out of here, man. See y'all Thursday. Might not. I'm out. Peace.